Hello everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Kyle Sampson, and I am a student at Carroll University and am currently a Phase 1 student in the physical therapy program. Recently, in my biomechanics course, we had the opportunity to partake in a field trip to the Milwaukee Public Museum with the assignment to apply our knowledge of gait and posture and how these two concepts are influenced by a population's environment and culture. As for the environment, I chose to further analyze the Native Americans population. Native Americans were the main inhabitants of North America prior to the 15th century. At this time, forms of transportation were limited in comparison to modern day. The primary transportation used by the Native Americans were horses for distant travels, which brings me to my first thesis. If the Native Americans used horseback riding for transportation, their postural control would be far superior compared to today's population, and they would sustain less falls during gait. This is attributed to the intense workout that horseback riding provides. Displayed in the picture, we see two Native American men hunting buffalo. What most interests myself about this picture is how both of the men maintain an upright posture through the activity. As both men travel long distances, they are required to isometrically contract their trunk extensors and trunk flexors for prolonged bouts to maintain their stability on the horse. Other muscle groups performing this isometric contraction are the knee extensors and flexors, which work to counteract the constant bounce from the horse's gallop. Both these muscle groups are used daily for standing when properly activated. In comparison to today's automobile, humans have a seat that provides support to the trunk and limits muscular contractions for postural maintenance. With the increase in muscular activity, the Native Americans' functional ability to attain and maintain a erect posture as well as maintaining their body stability and equilibrium will increase, better known as postural control. This will translate into the gait pattern of the population, as gait is the act of losing one's balance and recovering from the loss of balance. With an increase in postural control, the Native Americans will sustain less falls throughout their lifetime in comparison to today's population. The task of maintaining stability on a horse that is constantly changing direction is more difficult than maintaining stability during gait. Also, the coordination demands of throwing a spear while horseback riding will translate to coordination during gait and also decrease falls. As for the cultural portion of my vlog, I focused on the Japanese culture. This picture demonstrates two Japanese women in their home playing a card game known as 100 Poets. The first thing I notice is the way both women are positioned with their feet tucked under them in a kneeling position. This position will increase tensile forces on the anterior portion of the knee, which brings me to my next thesis. If the Japanese culture generally position themselves in their homes in a kneeling position, then optimal posturing gait will be affected by knee pain. The picture does not display the women's feet, but I assume they are in full plantar flexion, but since it does not display it, I will focus only on the knee. The knee extensors are maximally lengthened as well as knee flexors maximally shortened. Over time, these muscular deviations will translate to standing upright, where the imbalance between the flexors and extensors may cause pain. Pain leads to compensations of other joints to take stress off of the affected area. With a shift in posture, the center of gravity of an individual will shift and alter joint torques, which will cause even more stress on the entire body during standing. As for gait, shortened flexors may inhibit an efficient walking pattern due to loss of range of motion and increase in pain of the tissue surrounding the joint. This will result in a slower cadence and a decrease in functionality of the population. In comparison to our culture that sit rather than kneel, we will not experience knee pain because we rarely maintain a position where our knees are fully flexed. Overall, this experience has broadened my potential as a great physical therapist. By being consciously aware of a patient's culture and environment demands, I can properly diagnose and treat as well as appreciate the values of each patient. This will help myself adapt in unique situations and lead me to provide the best possible care. Thanks again for tuning into my blog, and take care.